And just like that, we are back. It's Mazzi. I'm here with LiveZone. Fresh off a parade. We're living
Yes,
here
sir.
in Boston. Mazzi just touched back in his home state, Massachusetts, from California. LiveZone, what's poppin'? What's going on?
Hey, we just went to a parade for the Boston Celtics. Banner 18 is officially here. We got a lot to talk about in the NBA. Mazzi, let me know what we're talking about first.
Yeah, lots going on, lots going on. We're going to stay with the Celtics to start it off. We're going to talk a little bit about the parade, let a little B-roll of the parade go, let X show it off. Here we go. Popping bottles. Everybody was having a good time. People running across the barricade, dodging the cops. It was great. Brother Tatum was lit. Porzingis made a fire catch with the beer. Live on. What'd you like most about the parade?
There was a huge amount of things that I loved about the parade. First of all, fans were stepping on a Irving jersey from Duke. People were falling off water fountains because of how hot it was. The biggest pop, I think, went to Joe Mazzulla when he came through. Everybody was going nuts for him, calling him a sicko and everything like that. It was amazing. When Jaylen Brown came through, everybody was yelling MVP, MVP. It was a great time. We got some videos for you. We will put those in the podcast as well afterwards. But we had a great time. A lot of things were happening. A lot of crazy fans, and I can just say that Boston truly has the best fans in sports.
No doubt about it. Boston, number one for fans. Crazy stat lines. We went just over 5 years without a championship from one of our four major sports teams. That's our second longest drought. Our biggest drought was 16, 17 years. FYI, New York hasn't had a championship in over 25 years from one of their major sports teams.
Yikes.
So I don't know. Actually, you could check me on that with the Giants. I think it was 12 years ago, but that's I don't know if they're considered the main New York sports teams because I think the Jets are considered more over the Giants. Anyways, also more news from Boston. Al Horford signing back another year, running back, baby. I was worried he was not going to be here once again for us, but he is back, ready to play the role again. Livezone, do you think he can double it up before the end of his career? He can end it with two.
I think he's not just going to end it with two. I think he's going to end it with three. Listen, all right, if Al Horford stays with the Boston Celtics, there's no void that needs to be filled right now in the Boston Celtics lineup. The lineup stays the same. The chemistry stays the same. The rookies come up, which we will talk about in the podcast as well. But when it comes down to this team is structured based off of 7 or 8 guys, and all 7 and 8 guys are locked up. If there's a team that is going to three-peat right now, it is the Boston Celtics because of the chemistry built within the team.
Hot take from LiveZone. Three Pete's kind of wild. We're looking at them on a Golden State level. There's only been 6 true teams to really be a dynasty and three-peat like that. You can have an argument for a few others in there as dynasties, maybe not three-peating. But you're saying that these Boston Celtics are going to be a dynasty. Is that true?
110%. Listen, if I'm looking at this, right, Jason Tatum is 110% in my eyes one of, if not the best star in the NBA. Right next to him, you have Jaylen Brown that's improving and getting better each and every year. We saw it this year in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown looks like he has that Mamba mentality effect on him right now. Derek White is lights out at the three-point line. Drew Holiday is consistent on defense and offense. Al Horford is a great defensive-minded person. And then you have Kristaps Porzingis that can shoot lights out anywhere from the building, as well as Peyton Pritchard with his three-point shots from half court. So I'm looking at this team, and I'm saying this is the most locked-in team that we've seen since the '08 Celtics or the 2013 Miami Heat. This team is locked in right now.
We will see. Stay tuned. You gotta see it. Staying with the Celtics for one more thing and moving into the NBA draft a little bit, is the Celtics passing up on Bronny James with their 30th pick in the first round? They do not go and get him. Should Brad Stevens have held him for ransom and gotten something from the Lakers or somebody else who was trying to make it so Bronny ends up with the Lakers as he ultimately did anyways because no one took it? What's going on there?
Well, listen, right? Like part of me wants to say yes that they should have taken Bronny James at the 54 spot, but part of me also is glad that we didn't, right? Because the Celtics are very known for getting the best person for the type of team that they want to be, right? And that's what we're seeing from the Boston Celtics. The kid from Creighton that they got in the first round, lights out 3-point shooter, came back from March Madness from an 18-point lead to bring his team further into March Madness. It was a great pick. The kid in the second round, I don't know if I would have went with him, but obviously Brad Stevens has his own mindset on what he wants from the players right now. So it makes sense in my eyes. I'm not doubting Brad Stevens at all, especially with what he's done so far. I will say I probably would have taken a power forward or center at the second rounder instead of going with what they went with. They could have gotten the kid from Oregon, Dante. He's a fresh guy that's very defensive mindseted, but they weren't looking that route for some reason. It is what it is. Trusting Brad Stevens. I see why people said that they should have went with Bronny because they could have gotten like an Austin Reeves or somebody from the LA Lakers and it would have been beneficial for the Boston Celtics. But the Boston Celtics are already stacked enough at the guards; they don't really need it. So I see why they went with what they went with.
Interesting. Brad Stevens never questioned what he's going to do, what he wants to do, or what he has planned. He is the man, so I know he has a plan in the end. FYI, guys, if you didn't know, LiveZone Sports is an official partner with East Coast Sports Investors. We love to bet over here. I'm sure if you like to bet, you like to win as well. And Jeff over at East Coast Sports Investors really knows how to deliver. The best in the business for, I'd say, about 10 years now. The man is killing it. Go check out East Coast Sports Investors for all your bets. Anything you need, if you need lines, if you need predictions, if you need help hitting your bets because you need to get money for rent, go to Jeff, okay? East Coast Sports Investors, proud partnership. Moving forward, we do have more on the NBA draft. Live Zone, I just want to touch on it quickly with you.
Yeah, so with the NBA draft, there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows for this year for me. I'm looking at it like this. Baylor Shireman from Celtics pick first round from Creighton. I think he's a steal. I think Zach Edey going to the Memphis Grizzlies is another steal. And I think Donovan Cleanan from Connecticut going to the Blazers. I mean, he's the best player on the team. He's going to be a star in the league. He's undeniable when it comes to greatness, but I just don't see him doing much on a Blazers team that's tanking. But the only person that I see in the top three that has as much potential as these guys is Alex Sarr. I'm looking at him and saying he's got to be the guy. I think the top three, they have potential to be busts in the league, but Alex Sarr definitely shows the most potential out of all three.
Interesting. We'll have to see as the careers pan out. Hey, I think it's a weak draft just from my own perspective this year. I think it's close to a one of the worst drafts in the NBA, but hopefully I'm wrong. Who knows? Who knows? We do have moves going on top of the draft happening. We have quite a bit of moves. Number one, we got Tim Hardaway Jr. for 3 second-round picks and Quentin Grimes. Live Zone. What do you make of this deal that's going down?
I mean, the Dallas Mavericks, they really got a younger Tim Hardaway. They got a guy that can shoot the ball and that can facilitate the same way that Tim Hardaway did in his early days in Dallas and stuff like that. So I'm looking at this as a win for the Dallas Mavericks. Do I think this pushes them higher than what they were last year? Absolutely not. I think they stay in the same spot, and they're still not better than the Boston Celtics. They gave away a lot of defense on their team to get more offense on their team, in my opinion. So it's a win-lose situation for Dallas.
Now we got the Raptors making moves going on here, giving up Emmanuel quickly, giving him 5 years, $175 million contract. Tyrese Maxey tweeted out to him, "Hey, remember when I bought you Chick-fil-A in school?" With the laughing emojis at the end, get him back. This man got a bag. What are we thinking of this move by the Raptors? Are the Raptors signing young talent and looking to be good in the future years from now on?
I mean, Emmanuel Quickly is definitely a great talent to have on your team, but the way that I'm looking at this is the New York Knicks were making him a sixth man for a reason. He's a bucket getter, but he doesn't have a lot of defense. That's the thing that I'm looking at. He can get to the bucket and he can put it in and he can shoot threes and he can shoot lights out. But when it comes to defense, I'm really hesitant on Emmanuel Quickly. So this is a big contract for Emmanuel Quickly, and the Toronto Raptors went all in on him. So I'm very shocked with the Toronto Raptors on this one. But they obviously see something in Emmanuel Quickly, so we shall see and we shall find out with it.
Great, great. More extensions, more deals. Jamal Murray going for 4 years, $209 million extension with the Denver Nuggets. Is Denver still a team to be in the West? Is it what people should be banking on in the West and building to beat in the West? And do you think Denver, with their squad, can beat the Celtics if they went head to head in the championship?
I do think that they're a team to beat in the West. I think that when healthy, Jokic and Jamal Murray together are phenomenal. They're 1-2 punch in the NBA. I don't know how much that they're going to have next to them though, which is why I'm worrying. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is being looked at by the Philadelphia 76ers. And then you have Reggie Jackson that just got pushed away. So it's a hard take for right now, but as of right now, having those two stars on that team, they're going to be great for years to come. I don't think that they can beat the Celtics, though, if they don't get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope back.
Yeah, the Hornets getting Reggie Jackson for 3 second rounders. So something to look at there for Denver. Also going with signings. Bam signs 3 year, $166 million extension. Are the Heat relevant with Jimmy? I heard Jimmy wasn't going to sign back.
Yeah, Jimmy's not signing back. So they're building for the future. They're building around Tyler Hero. They're building around Bam to see what else they can get in the draft pieces and or free agency. I could see a player like Paul George actually going to Miami, even though he is being looked at by other teams, notably the Golden State Warriors. I could see Paul George turning around and signing with Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. But there's a lot to come with that. Jimmy Butler, that's something to look out for, though. It's going to be exciting to see where he ends up.
One more extension we got. Scotty Barnes agrees to a 5 year, $270 million extension. LiveZone. What are we liking from that?
I mean, like I said, Toronto, they're building for the future and they're locking up their stars for years to come. So, I mean, it's looking like they're not high on RJ Barrett right now, though, because they're locked in on Emmanuel Quickly and Scotty Barnes. So we shall see what happens. I do like the deal for Scotty Barnes, though. I do think he's worth the money. I do think the Emmanuel Quickly one is going to bite him in the rear end, though.
Hey, we're connecting the dots everywhere. Everything's connected. Speaking about RJ Barrett, the Knicks get Mikal Bridges and send Bogdanovich and 4 first rounders to Brooklyn. What are we making of this? What's going on with the Knicks? Is this going to help them, put them over a hump? Maybe compare with the Celtics a little better?
I think so. I think a lot of people are still talking about Donovan Mitchell going to the Knicks as well. So this is obviously part of the deal. They needed to gain something to give something, in my opinion. So I do see this being a piece that they could build off of with Donovan Mitchell on the team. If not, the four stars that they have right now with Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and OG. I do think that those four will be great together if that's a team that you're looking at for New York. I don't think that puts them above the Celtics. If you go out and get a bucket getter like Donovan Mitchell to add to these people that you have, maybe end up getting rid of OG or Julius Randle to get Donovan Mitchell or even Jalen Brunson. I do think that this team is a collective unit that will be hard to beat when the Celtics go against them.
Last one on the list. Watch out, kids. Josh Giddey's coming to Chicago. Alex Caruso out of there over to OKC. What do you like about the move? I'm liking the veteran leadership that Alex Caruso is going to bring to the table over there in OKC. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree. They needed to get rid of Josh Giddey. They knew that he had potential, but they weren't going to use him because of what happened outside of the court. Unfortunately, it is what it is. They got rid of him. They got a veteran piece in Alex Caruso that can play defense, that can facilitate the ball to your stars like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a win-win for the OKC Thunder. Obviously, the Chicago Bulls are going into rebuild mode, and they see something in Josh Giddey that a lot of teams are not seeing right now, so we shall see what happens.
That is all we have this week on Dynamics on the Hardwood. I'm Mazzi, and that's LiveZone. We got the sponsorship with East Coast Sports Investors. Go check them out. Please do. Check out our Twitter. We're posting through everything NBA draft, NHL playoffs. We're live through anything upcoming that's worth noting. We're out there tweeting about. Check us on Instagram and TikTok. LiveZone's been putting on the work on TikTok. Everywhere, the Consumption Network or the Consumption Net on Twitter. We have all the handles at the bottom of the YouTube description as well as our personals. And as always, LiveZone.
Stay tuned.